What's going on, everyone? Dave Knittel here with my second ever vlog. Today is Wednesday, February 28th. I'm going to give you a little recap of, my entrepreneurial journey, my fantasy soccer website, Fan Futsal, my YouTube channel, The Soccer Tavern, and then the podcast that I do with my brothers called Bros Talking Soccer. So if you're watching live, definitely feel free to send any messages in the chat function if you have any questions or anything like that. I'd be happy to answer. And with that, I'm just gonna tell you how my last week was. So on the Fan Futsal front, the site is back up and running. I know we were going through a couple issues previously, but we're back up and running now. Last week, for those who have been following my journey, I partnered with a company called Stadium Scene, who's like a content aggregator. So they have a couple different people who are doing, who are putting out content. And so if you go to stadiumscene.tv, you can see those content creators. So I reached out to them and some of their partners and to see if they wanted to do like a Fan Futsal sponsored tournament, or not sponsored tournament, but like a tournament with people on Fan Futsal. And we started that last week, and that seems to be going well. People are engaged, people are excited about that, and it's just an 8-team tournament, but I'm excited and hopeful for that to continue, and maybe if other people see that we're doing that, maybe next time we do a 16-person tournament, and we can kind of slowly start to grow from there. So I was pretty encouraged by how that has gone so far. Additionally, so we've been the website. We have an API feed that we get from overseas, and the API went through an upgrade towards the end of last year. And so we were still kind of using a mixture of the old API feed and the new one. And the reason I'm telling you this is that MLS had like an issue with the old feed, and we didn't realize it until very recently. So the team right now is working on getting MLS integrated into the new API, so we can have games for this weekend and tournaments, because MLS starts this weekend. So I'm hopeful that they'll be able to get that done hopefully today. I was messaging with them on Slack earlier today, but I'm hopeful that we can get them get MLS back onto the site, and we can maybe start doing some MLS games and some MLS tournaments, maybe with the Stadium Scene people. And then lastly, with regards to Fan Futsal, so towards the end of 2017, I reached out to a company called Bumpy Pitch, who makes like really cool t-shirts, like soccer themed t-shirts, and asked if I could purchase some gift cards at a discount and then offer them to users of my tournament, users of Fan Futsal who like won a tournament and things like that. And so they were a great partner to work with, and they gave me some discounts on the gift cards, and I'm offering them to winners of some of our tournaments. And so we offered 2 in 2017, and then basically the site crashed, and we're back up and running now. So we're doing another Bumpy Pitch tournament. So it's a 16-person tournament. It'll run over the course of 5 or 6 weeks, and then the winner of that will get a Bumpy Pitch gift card. So, I'm excited about that. With Fan Futsal, the biggest struggle is incentivizing users to play on the site, because it's free, because users can't win money, and there's not a ton of inherent incentives built into the system. These gift card ideas are something that I think are encouraging and a way to get more people onto the site. And so hopefully we can get that tournament filled up and get people in there and doing all that. Switching gears now over to the Soccer Tavern, the YouTube channel that I'm running. So there we're releasing, our tagline is discussing the history, culture, and philosophy of the beautiful game. So right now what we're doing is we're releasing 2 club history videos per week about English Premier League clubs. So since we've last spoke, I released my Burnley video, Burnley club history video last week. And then on Monday of this week, I released my Chelsea video. Crystal Palace will be coming out tomorrow. I told you guys last week that my Bournemouth video got a bunch of traction, and then I started to get some negative comments about it. I said some things that, I called Bournemouth a town instead. I called it a city instead of a town, and there were other inconsistencies in there. So I remade that video, and since then, it's only gotten like 20 views, and most of my videos right now aren't getting a ton of views. And so it's slightly frustrating at times, because, I'm working really hard on putting out the content, but it's not just overnight success, which, I recognize that. But still, I would like to see, more views of my videos. I think the Burnley video has maybe around 50 views, and the Chelsea only has about 30 at this point. So hopefully, as I keep putting these out and more people discover them and all of that, then we can, it'll all slowly start to build, and then it'll snowball. But I'm still enjoying it. I really like it. I was editing my Everton video last night, a little bit of my Huddersfield one, and then today I plan to record Leicester City, United, and Man City. And my brother's visiting actually this upcoming weekend, and he's a big Liverpool fan. So we're going to try to do like a tandem recording video. Don't know how that's going to go, but I know he's excited about it, and I think it'll be cool, and just a different dynamic for our Liverpool video. So again, I'm really enjoying the Soccer Tavern. I had, I've spoken with a couple friends who, have been following me on this journey, and they're encouraged the same way that I am, and think there may be more potential just with the Soccer Tavern. If you can find the right people and get them interested, everybody is looking for video these days. So I think it's just a matter of keeping at it, and that may end up being kind of the thing that I focus most of my energies on, moving forward. I still think the Fan Futsal has greater, broader potential, but I'm going to keep doing all of these things. Lastly, the podcast that I do with my brother is called Bros Talking Soccer. So I thought our podcast this past week was our best one. We had some good debates. We had some disagreements. A lot of times we kind of agree on a lot of things, and which doesn't always make for the most interesting content. But I thought this past weekend our podcast was the best one we've had so far. Thought we made some good points. We didn't necessarily agree with each other, but I thought it flowed really well, and so I was really proud and happy about that one. It was episode 66, so we've done 66 of these things, which is pretty crazy. The other thing that I got this idea last week to take some of the Soccer Tavern videos that I've made and just pull the audio out of the video and then release that as a podcast. So on Wednesdays moving forward, I'm going to release the audio from my Soccer Tavern videos for people to listen to. And, obviously it'll be better if they click and watch the video, but at least they can hear what I'm saying and pick up on that, because I know for me personally, it's tough sometimes to watch videos because you have to be so engaged in it. Whereas with a podcast, I listen to probably 30 hours of podcasts a week. I mean, I listen at 2 times speed. So, I'm only really physically listening for about 15 hours. But, every day when I'm making breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I usually eat with my wife, but breakfast and lunch, I'm listening to a podcast. And so, every day I'm spending at least probably 2 to 3 hours listening. And if I listen at 2 times speed, that's, 4 to 6 hours that I'm actually consuming the content. And it's a lot easier to do other things. And so you can be listening and consuming that content, but it doesn't need to be your sole focus. And so I'm hopeful that, it'll just be an additional way for people to learn about, both the Soccer Tavern and Bros Talking Soccer, and just consume some of the content we're putting out. So I'm really hopeful about how those are going to go. So I'm excited about that. And, it's also, the videos are only about anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. So the podcast is a lot shorter than some of the others. So it may be a lot easier for people to consume. So I'm really hopeful about that. And then lastly, this upcoming Sunday, again, my brother Christian's visiting, so we're going to record the podcast in person. My other brother, Matt, will be at Penn State, as always. But we're going to have a special guest, one of the partners from Stadium Scene, who I've met through them, who lives in England, is a Tottenham supporter, big soccer fan. He's going to be on the podcast just as an additional sort of host or pundit, whatever you want to call us. So I'm excited about him. His name's Mark, and he's going to be on, and I'm excited to get his perspectives on everything. And I think he'll bring a different viewpoint, and again, just add a different element to the podcast. So, again, I continue to meet all kinds of interesting people, whether it's, it's online, it's through partners and all of that. And so, again, the journey has been amazing from a learning perspective, from a networking perspective. Things still aren't, I've been doing all of this full time for about 1.5 years. I've been working on at least Fan Futsal for about 4.5 years or so, really hard for about 4 years. And, it's not necessarily where I want it to be, but it's all been an incredible journey, and I'm still enjoying everything. And, I'm hopeful that, the tipping point's right around the corner. But overall, pretty interesting stuff. It was an exciting week. I felt like my video last week may have been a little bit more negative and a little bit down. It was because I, woke up that morning and gotten some negative feedback on my Bournemouth video and was a little bit more low energy. But today I'm feeling good. I'm excited about what the future holds. And so, yeah, I think that pretty much does it for this vlog on February 28th. So thank you for tuning in and watching, and we'll be back with another one next Wednesday. Thanks. See you, everyone.